So today I'm going to talk about the psychology of health. Why is it that some people get sick and stay sick, and no matter what you do for them, they seem to be sick, and other people, whenever they're told they've got a life-threatening disease, they find a way to thrive, they work through that challenge and make themselves better. And not only that, sometimes it's a game changer where they totally never be sick again in their lives. And the main issue is the psychology. Where is it that that person lives? And what do they believe about themselves? Where do they live emotionally? And what do they believe about the world, about their life, and about themselves? And the main thing that I find is that people, in general, fall into two categories. People that want to actually find a way to work it out, and other people that want to become a victim and end up becoming their story. And I see this time and time again where, there are very, very powerful things that can allow you to heal. So when you get your proper hydration, you get your proper nutrition, you cleanse your body with colonics, with detoxification, with saunas, with eating the right foods, with doing juice fasts, water fasts, and different types of cleansings. But in general, people usually end up having an emotional problem that they don't want to deal with, and they end up either eating food to distract themselves, to comfort themselves, or to basically anesthetize the pain from the suffering of their existence, or the pain that they're in. And so I see it time and time again with so many different people where, they would come to you with a challenge, a health challenge, or a problem, an emotional problem. And when you actually ask them about what it is that they actually want to achieve, they actually don't know. They actually just have got so used to telling their story over and over and over again that they actually do become their story. And that story basically identifies who they are, and that's who they see themselves as. And one of the most powerful things that you can do is to get that person to become very consciously aware of what it is that they're telling you and themselves on a daily basis, because the values, the beliefs, and the perception that they hold of themselves is very, very powerful. So the most recurring and common theme that I see is somebody did something to somebody way back when they were younger, at a young age, and that could have been once only, or it could have been a systematic thing that happened year after year after year. And this can be all types of physical abuse, psychological abuse, or a combination of different things, or where people have been bullied, or they've been treated badly by a certain person or group of people. And that person then takes on board, and you'll hear things like, one of the main things is, nobody likes me. And then you would say to them, how do you know nobody likes you? Well, somebody said this and said that. And you would ask them questions, so does that mean that somebody doesn't like you? And you start to challenge and evaluate their model of the world, or how they see reality. And in most cases, those people have a very limited map of the world. And what you really want to do is take them from a place from where they're stuck, where they don't have access to the resources that they need to set themselves free. So a person could say, well, nobody likes me in work. And so what you'll find out is, you say, is there nobody likes you in work? And then went, well, I don't know, I never thought about it, but there's these two people that constantly give me a hard time. And in many cases, it'll be one or two people. But what that person will do is they'll generalize that across all contexts. And so when they tell themselves that, even though it's not true, in their body or in their nervous system, it feels like it actually is true, because they generalize it in so many areas. And so you start to challenge their map, you start to challenge their beliefs, and as you start to weaken all those different components within that belief system, and then you create an empowering alternative, that person then can make a profound shift in their consciousness, in their belief system, and that allows them to basically get access to the resources that they already have within but don't realize they have. And in many cases, they can resolve that health challenge, that issue, and go on to lead a very happy, very fulfilled life. But in most cases, people, they don't seem to want to ever deal with or clean up the stuff that has been tormenting them. And you'll see this where they will smoke lots of dope, they'll smoke cigarettes, they'll drink alcohol, they'll eat excessive amounts of food. It'll be manifest in other ways, like incredible addiction to shopping or other addictions. And these things are just masks that actually help the people distract themselves from the underlying issue, which is what it is that they need to deal with. So just, if I'd like you to consider those things that I've said and ask yourself, in life, is there something that I'm not actually dealing with, and why is it that I have this problem, this addiction, or this health challenge? Because most health challenges go back to a time when a significant emotional event happened, and that emotional event triggered something very deep within that person, and that person most of the time unconsciously made a belief or made a distinction or made a rule that I'm not doing that again because this means pain or this means ridicule or this means something negative, and that person ultimately then lives a life where they never ever face the challenge that they're confronted with and end up doing very dysfunctional behaviours. Just something to think about.